What's up, Bike Rumor fans? I'm here at the Tune booth at Eurobike 2019, and we're going to start off with their experimental table. So the stuff you see right behind me is all stuff that's not quite for sale yet. Some of it's even a couple years off, but the technology they're working on is super cool. So this handlebar right here is done with a thermoplastic resin, and the difference is with a normal carbon fiber resin, there's no way to melt it back out and recycle it, and this lets you melt out the fibers or melt out the resin and recycle it completely. You could even turn it into another handlebar if you want. The seat post here is a completely machined unit, and so what's cool is if you can check out the insides here, the super smooth, and it's shaped so that it's strong where it needs to be, but it also blends in flax fibers, and this is something they're developing with the local university to see where else they can take it and use more natural fibers to reduce kind of the CO2 costs of producing carbon parts. The hubs here are ridiculous. These are called the Skyline Uli, so if you can see the impression there, it's a little hard with the glare. That's the founder of Tune, and these things basically are no holds barred. So what you see right here is carbon fiber end caps, and they're using carbon fiber that's about $500 per meter tube, and it's machined out of that in-house from, it's like a medical grade carbon tubing. The alloy itself is a new aerospace alloy that's used on a lot of the Airbus jets, and it's about 10% less dense than regular alloy without giving up any strength. So it's just a few more grams out. They'll come with ceramic bearings, but here's the catch is these things are going to cost almost $1,000 per set. So let's move over and check out some other new things that are slightly more affordable. So this handlebar here is their new kind of like gravel all-road bar, and it's got some really great shaping. I'll show you a little close-up on this. And you got this nice kind of like ergo shaping even there. There's just a very subtle little curve there, and then of course the bar tape is going to finish, flush because of that little groove. So they have a new silicone bar tape too that's really thick and really grippy, and you can see it's like it has a great feel to it. So there's a couple other things hiding on this display. The first is this top cap here. It's a brand new one. It's like 6.9 grams, and I've got one here. It's a new all aluminum expansion plug, and what this does is it replaces the silicone part from before, because the silicone could contract a little bit in cold weather and get loose. So this one is all aluminum, machined in-house. It's a pretty simple thing. You use a 6 mil Allen inside to do it, but you see the edges stick out too. What that means is with some expansion plugs, this one won't fall down in the steer tube and cause you a lot of headaches. The other thing hiding here is this end cap. Check out how that flares out just slightly with a rubber O-ring outside of the diameter of the handlebar, and that means if your bike's leaning up against something and falls over, it's not going to get banged up on the concrete. And that's super good when you're running really expensive carbon handlebars. And they make mountain bike versions too, and the insides are actually like all plastic, so it's super light. I think it's like 12.9 grams for the set. What you see here is an absolute smorgasbord of expensive and ultralight hubs, and they've done quite a few things. They've redone the carbon spoke rings on the hubs, and it's now a machined part as opposed to a woven part that's wound around during construction. So by machining it, they have a lot better consistency in it, and if they mess up the carbon part during machining, they just don't install it. Whereas with the wound ones before, if something happened during construction, it would basically you had to trash the hub and start over again. So the other bit is up here. This seal ring on the free hub bodies is also now machined out of carbon fiber. It gets a labyrinth seal, so it's basically going to replace the aluminum bits on all the hubs, but for now that's a Skyline part. You can see they've got different colors of free hub bodies now. So if you take a look at the blue one, that's their standard, and it's a little bit thinner bits inside. Take a look at the gold one, and you can see it's still a 3-fall system, but it's a lot thicker and it's more durable. That's called their endurance free hub body, and that's for rougher riding mountain bikes. And then you have the black one, which is going to have 6 falls, so it doubles the engagement to about 9.5 degrees, and that's just meant for people who want a little bit tighter performance in there. So there is more to see, and we're going to have a full post on bikerumor.com with a couple of other goodies, definitely worth checking out. Behind me you see all these wheels, and so rather than go into all the specifics, there's not a whole lot of new about the wheels, like the components that make up those wheels, other than what we've already showed you with the hubs. But what they're doing is, like, instead of before they'd have, like, say, a really lightweight pair of wheels, and then they would say, oh, well, if you want to upgrade ceramic bearings, we can do that, or if you want to add the Skyline Princess hubs, you could do that. Now they just build wheels based on user intent. So if somebody calls up and says, hey, I want a lightweight gravel wheel, they already know which parts make up the best lightweight gravel wheel, and they'll just give you that, so you don't have to ask for all these upgrades. So that means you might be getting, like, lightweight hubs with ceramic bearings, but the proper width rim and the right spoke count and spoke thickness on those. One thing that we can't show you that they say is ready, but they're not even showing because they don't have license for, is a Microsflyn Hub for the new Shimano 12-speed mountain bike stuff. So they have it ready. They're just waiting for Shimano's blessings. As soon as that's they're given, like, the green light on that, it'll be out and shipping. So stay tuned to Bike Rumor, and we'll be sure to let you know as soon as that happens. Hey, if you like these videos, hit like, hit subscribe, and keep watching. We got a ton more coming from Eurobike.